We're taping this on Saturday night. About 24 hours ago, President Trump joined Israel in attacking Iran. The New York Times editorial board wrote that Trump's decision is reckless and ill-defined. On X, you linked to one of Trump's old tweets where he criticized Obama for striking Libya because of bad poll numbers. But you also wrote that Iranian leadership needs to go. Apparently, the Ayatollah has been killed. There'll be another Ayatollah, but...
Wow. Sounds like they're praying for another Ayatollah to take the place in Iran so they could turn back and point at Donald Trump and said, you see, we told you this, that. But you know what? It's the liberal way to live. They have no common sense, period. Now, she spoke about, how Donald Trump criticized Barack Obama for attacking Libya. But what she's not mentioning is that Barack Obama himself, along with NATO, allies, of course, they together assassinated the president of Libya, which is Gaddafi. She's not mentioning that. They were all good with that. But now Donald Trump is taking out these dictators. They got a problem with that. If you've been a subscriber here on this channel, thank you very much. If you just got subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you. I see y'all subscribing, and I appreciate it. But let me first warn, if you're here for the first time, and this is your first time watching my channel, look, put your seatbelts on, all right? We're going on a ride real quick.
Where are you worried about this move, and what do you think it stems from?
I think it stems from weakness masquerading as strength. It stems from its complete failure of this administration, this historic president who's historically unpopular, that is trying to distract from his failures across the spectrum. He doubled down on stupid during the State of the Union. No course correction at all. And you're absolutely right. In 2011, and he didn't just say it once, he did videos condemning, criticizing President Obama, suggesting somehow he was going to do this, and it was a desperate attempt for his reelection. But you had Tulsi Gabbard out there saying regime change is wrong. You had J.D. Vance saying that they lied to you. He lied to you. So reckless is the only way to describe this. He didn't describe to the American people what the end game is here. He didn't describe the existential threat of the moment, the immediacy of the crisis at hand. There wasn't one. He manufactured it. And now we're manufacturing a crisis of outcomes unknown and the uncertainty it marks at this moment. And that's Donald Trump, the chaos president, this wrecking ball president.
A wrecking ball president you call Donald Trump. Have you really stopped and take a second to really think about what your California state is looking like, since you want to talk about wrecking balls, sir? Your state is looking like trash. It's looking like a third world country, man. What are you talking about? See, this is the thing. These people are always sitting up on their high horses, criticizing other people about the same things that they're not doing. And this man right here has absolutely devalued the state of California. You look at California, like I said, it's like a third world country over there. Look, everything is high. And now they want to tax people for driving on the roads. Y'all look it up. I said, I showed the receipts. I showed the proof in the form of video. They want to tax people per mile every time you drive. This is the state of California we're talking about, the wrecking ball state. And this man has the audacity to open up his mouth and call Donald Trump a wrecking ball.
Across the board, destruction is not strength. And once again, we've seen him destroy not only our allies in relationship to the rest of the world, but we're seeing him destroy any capacity to explain fundamentally what the core American interest is at this moment, to declare war, to go to war with a regime. And all of this is playing out in real time. And we just pray for our troops, we pray for our allies, and we pray that Donald Trump is temporary and his time is up in just 3 years.
I wonder who he's praying to, because with all those different groups and religion they got going on over there in California, I don't even know who he's talking about praying to. What he should have did was pray for his best friend, right? When he's talking about, destroying and this and that. And I'm going to show you this because I know a lot of you have never heard this before. But guess what? If you've never heard it before, you heard it here first. The clown Gavin Newsom slept with his best friend's wife. Let's play the tape.
If you can't trust Gavin with his best friend's wife, how can you trust him with your state?
I want to make it clear that everything you've heard and read is true. And I am deeply sorry about that. I've hurt someone I care deeply about, Alex Turk, his friends and family. And that is something that I have to live with and something that I am deeply sorry for.
This is the man that's pointing finger. They say when you're pointing finger at somebody else, you're pointing your finger back at yourself. That's Gavin Newsom 101. The slime ball, the sleaze ball. Can't even trust him. But you know what? They voted him in. That goes to show you the mindset of those Democratic people over there in California. Now let's get to the next video because there are a few protests going on right now. And, people are coming out more and more. And I'm talking about, the lousy liberals that are out there. I don't know where these people get all this time on their hands, but they got time on their hands. What they do for work? Because I'm sure for the paid protesters, that's not enough to sustain a living. So what do you do for work? I'm not getting it, y'all. Let's watch this video.
Hundreds of anti-war demonstrators swarmed Times Square Saturday afternoon, just hours after the U.S. and Israel launched a military operation against Iran.
It's exhausting every day to wake up and...
Look at this fool. The lunatic liberals are out in full gear. Look at this idiot, y'all. Look at this fool. You can't make this stuff up. Boy, I tell you, somebody please drop it down in the comment section. Tell me, please, where do these people find the time to protest? Almost going on to 2 years now since Donald Trump became president, since Donald Trump was elected in November 2024, these people have been out there protesting nonstop. Every other day there's a protest. And, they have this thing where if you get into a conversation with them and you're talking about the protest, the first thing they bring up is January 6th. Oh, remember January 6th? January 6th was one day. We're going on to almost 2 years now. We're going into 2 years now. Since y'all have been protesting everything that's been happening, people lost their lives, unfortunately. Rest in peace to the two people who lost their lives. You know who I'm talking about, Alex Preddy, Renee Good, who went out there, who made a conscious decision on their own, an adult decision to go out there and agitate ICE and paid the ultimate price for that. But rest in peace, though. Our condolences still. I just don't get it. So meanwhile, these lunatic liberals are out there protesting. The Iranian people are out there celebrating.
Islamic Republic is a terrorist regime, and all of us Iranians, both inside and outside, want a free Iran and wants this regime to be gone.
Many of the faces in the crowd, the relatives of Iranians who fled during the 1979 revolution, many immigrating to Westwood and Southern California to escape the regime, the region becoming home to the largest population of Iranians outside of the country.
I just want to know this. Why every time there's some revolution going on in a country, why do they come to the United States? Why do we always have these open arms for people to come here? Why not go to Russia? Why not go to China? Why America?
Killed my brother when he was 14 years old. Today is like our dream came true. The most dictator, the person who killed thousands of people, 36,000 of people, put a lot of people in the jail, today is dead. Yes.
Last December, the country's currency collapsed, prompting Iranians to protest in the street and demand a regime change. But since then, President Trump says more than 32,000 have been killed in bloody government crackdowns. Last month and again today, President Trump urging Iranians to, quote, take over your government.
Thank you to Donald Trump, our dear president, and Israel and its people and its president for help us free Iran.
I talked to my dad recently. He's in Iran and he's looking for, he's also looking for freedom.
We want to choose our future. We want to see which part of the government our people want to decide, and after that we respect that.
That's crazy. But you know what? I'm happy for the Iranian people, man. It's well deserved. The Ayatollah, he was in power for 37 long years, y'all. 37 years. So, it goes to show you, look, straight dictatorship all the way. And there's a young lady who showed a video about, Iran before the Muslims came in and take over and forced them to be Muslims. And she showed them, back in the 70s, in the early 70s, how Iran really was. How women, they weren't wearing, those things over their neck. But yeah, and she was showing how they were, how life was. They lived freely. They didn't have to wrap their heads everywhere they go and all that stuff. But they were very classy women. And the men, how they dressed, classy and so forth.
Of course, I'm not going to stop talking about Iran until they're free. You know why? This isn't Iran. This is.
But it's just crazy to me to see, Iranian women celebrating the freedom. And I'm not just talking about, Iranian women here in America, but Iranian women who are also over there in Iran, celebrating their freedom while the liberal women over here are protesting it. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't add up. We're going to get to the next video because, Kamala Harris, she has something to say. And I want to just take you through this little chapter right now. So this chapter is called Why We Didn't Vote for Kamala. Let's take a look.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
Y'all heard that? So Iran is our biggest threat. Okay, let's hear what she has to say in 2026, at the time of making this video, after Donald Trump sends the U.S. military down in Iran and took out the leader. Let's hear what she got to say.
So I am here in the beautiful city of Detroit to visit one of the incredible small businesses. But before I go in, I want to address what we learned today. Donald Trump has dragged us into a war the American people do not want. He has put American troops in harm's way. I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should. And the bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it. Thank you.
And that, my friends, just proved to you how cuckoo this woman is in the head. And it's a constant reminder that we get as to why we did not vote for this woman. She is unstable. She is not fit to be the president of the United States. And when you listen to the things that come out of these people's mouths, I will tell you this right now. Her and Gavin Newsom are two walking garbage container. They just full of trash. I don't see how people are actually fans of these people. Are people really listening to these individuals? Don't they see the writings on the wall? We see it. I mean, it's clear as daylight. It's right in front of us. And all I see are two incompetent people. That's it. Nothing else. Again, if you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. Would love for you to join the community here on YouTube at 10 minutes late. And if you're subscribed to the channel, thank you for being a subscriber. Do me a favor, y'all. Show me back some love and hit the like button. That little like icon, it goes a far way. So show me back some love and hit the like button. And also drop a comment in the comment section. I want to hear from y'all as well. All right, until next time,